Welcome back, heroes. You have just completed the battle in Oak Edge with the merfolk, and we are about to move on. If you like what you've seen so far, please drop us a like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and continue with the story. As our heroes pull up towards the dock at Oak Edge, you see that it has been burned and exploded now with your fight. There are large crossbow bolts, smatterings of shrapnel, and the black dust of exploded black powder all over the field that previously was a place where kids played. The fire in the village that you spotted earlier has become a roaring inferno, from what you can tell. And it looks like at least a large portion of the town's roofs are now aflame. Dom is going to, with a careful sea sense, he feels the tremor of the dock hit the boat and calls for the anchor to be thrown down. Triss is going to hurl it down and then rushes back towards the part of the boat that she has fixed. So Triss's ability only works in combat, so she was able to heal 20 damage. The rest will need to be repaired in a ship dock with some supplies.
So how much is still down?
50. It was down 70 initially.
With that being the case, you have docked. The merfolk, it appears, are dead.
But one.
Except for one.
Except for one that Roland is bringing back towards the ship. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I asked him
If
it
it is submitted.
It has no choice. You've beaten it. And what
June
are the actions of the characters?
turns to you and she goes, Captain, might we use your brig?
She nods. Seems appropriate.
And she looks over and says, Dom, will you help me get that down below?
Oh, I've got him.
No, you have the living one. I want the dead one that's on the deck down below as well.
The Baron?
Yes.
What about the town? Hero says with worry in his voice.
That's why there's a brig, and we can go back.
He says, Shh, I'm going to go ahead.
I'll go with him.
Good. So everybody pauses for a moment.
Johnny is going to turn towards you. You're not going without a guard, Captain. I'm going as well, then.
She gives a little smirk. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Be careful, Bolly says towards you. Both of you. All of you.
She looks at Hero. Come on.
Triss, will you help us as well? She looks like she's pretty sturdy.
She looks up with, mild tears in her eyes and sweat pouring down her brow, and she goes, No.
She kind of just narrows her eyes.
I'll help, Dom says.
Well, I was kind of getting too. I'm wimpy.
So Isaac comes back up from below deck and he's put away the bolter. And he comes with you all. And he says, I don't think we'll have much need for muscle. He's going to walk with you to the corpse.
She goes, handy, but we should probably hurry.
Yes. I don't like those three running off on their own. I think we should join them as soon as possible.
Great. Is Pronger all right?
He's fine.
Femi, as you, Hero, and Johnny head towards the town, you make your way past some exploded shrub grass that's still burning out. The corpse of the priestess is still reaching towards the water, impaled on the ground. And you hear the cries of villagers, not merfolk, in the village. It's almost a wailing sound, rather haunting. And you can hear the crackle of fire and the roar of an inferno as you approach. Roland, you bring the living merfolk up onto the deck. Isaac, Juniper, you guys head down to grab the dead merfolk. With some benefits from the crew, you managed to take the corpse down below into the belly of the ship.
I assume you just actually reanimate it and make it walk, don't you?
I animate the Baron and have it come onto the ship.
It's already on the show.
Yeah, it's still in the...
Oh, I animate that Baron and have him come into the basement.
Shadow, as the Baron gets up, is going to like just like stare at it. And then she's going to like come up and she kind of like stabs it with her claws. And the Baron's going to like just stand there and he sort of wobbles forward a little bit. She looks at you like... She looks very startled.
Yeah, he just shrugs. But he's, pushing the prisoner.
She's going to dive into the Baron's own shadow.
After he animates him, Isaac says, "Thank you for saving Brongor back there. I wasn't expecting that."
Of course.
Come, I'm sure you have questions for this thing.
Not yet, though. First, we need to stow them.
Okay.
She gestures.
We're doing this later. I
As
see.
the
Okay.
creature attempts to like scratch you with its hands, but you have a chokehold.
I've probably tied his hands up at this point. I've got something on me.
All right, with a hog-tied merfolk, you sling him into a jail cell next to a bunch of cots, and
Oh God.
Yep.
get ready to leave.
Yeah, your room's gonna smell terrible, bro.
Yeah.
It already does. As you head into the town, you're going to see a chain of villagers has formed, passing buckets from the well to the burning homes, many of which will not be saved. You see people as you come forward. At first, there is a reaction of terror as one of them points towards you, and then there is confusion. Hero is going to run towards them. "I've got to help," he says.
She'll run forward as well. We're here to help. The merfolk are dead.
The townspeople, they're still passing the bucket to one another, mostly because one woman of white hair in the front seems to be coordinating the effort. She is an older human.
Euphemia will approach her.
Alright, Hero is going to get in line and form the smallest chain of the bucket line. Johnny is going to come with you up towards the woman. "You killed the merfolk?"
Me and a few others. Are there any left in any of these buildings? Is everyone
says,
out?
"They got what they came for," she said. "They left, I think. But we are unsure."
She
"Have you
nods.
seen my husband?" she says. "He's an old human man, bald." She describes a nice-ish set of clothes that he would be wearing.
And the halflings were the 3 who died, correct? So there was not a human among them who...
Correct.
Okay.
This man also that she describes is quite aged.
She would shake her head.
"He has a walking stick," she says.
Are any of the villagers left in these buildings?
"We don't know."
Pass me a bucket, she says.
The rest of you, Isaac, are you bringing constructs?
I'm thinking of which ones might be of help. The Revenant could be another pair of hands. Yeah, I'll bring the Revenant with me.
Anything else?
No, but the Revenant will be heavily disguised.
Do you turn off the homunculus?
Yes.
Okay. You leave 3, take 1. The Revenant comes with you all, and the 3 of you head into town with Dom. As you all head into town, you see the same things I described for Euphemia. Is there any actions from your part upon seeing the flames in the village chain?
Is it just one fire, or...
No, it is many.
Is it widespread?
It is.
June will stop, and she sighs, and then you see her reach down to her cloak, and where she strokes it, clouds begin forming on her cloak. And then as they start forming on her cloak and swirling, you see in the sky they begin swirling as well, forming up. They become dark gray, like clearly thunderhead clouds.
So what does your cloak look like right now, please?
Right now it just looks like a night sky.
Your cloak looks like a night sky at the moment?
Well, now it looks like a cloudy night sky.
Did that happen when you struck your hand into your mundane-looking cloak?
Yes, her cloak, before, you guys always saw it as just being a regular, like,
Traveler's cloak.
traveler's cloak of nice quality, but, like, nothing special. But it's clearly a very magical item.
So to elaborate slightly, it doesn't just look like the night sky. It looks like it is the night sky.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like she's literally, like, floating in the night sky with, like...
Is there motion on it?
Yes.
Ah.
Well, now the clouds are moving. Like, before, you wouldn't have been able
But, like,
to
on the
notice.
clooks itself, there's the clouds.
Yes.
So the
The
cloak
cloak
looks
is
like a
cloak.
window into a night sky, basically.
How cool.
But it's still a cloak.
I assume you...
I'm causing
The
it to
LED.
rain to help put out the light, the stuff. Because,
Is it over there?
yes.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and deduct the fate points from your robe.
I did.
As Juniper stirs the clouds above, the chain is continuing. What are you all doing? Because this is going to take a minute on her part.
Oh, no, she wasn't just going to take a bucket. She was going to dump the bucket on herself and run into one of the houses. So
Honestly, Roland would probably start trying to
so
search houses,
she
too.
would have run into the closest inhabited place that they thought there might be somebody.
Okay. If Isaac sees you doing this, he touches you and casts guidance before you run into the burning building.
I don't know if you might have been back in time.
This
I'm not
might be
sure.
before we
I
get there,
think
so.
it's probably
Yeah.
before we get there, because she asked for it before we got there.
You take a point of fire damage, and you do save a villager.
Okay.
Oh.
You actually save a very old human man.
Oh, I hope it's...
Does he have a walking stick near him?
He does have a walking stick near him, in fact, and he can't reach it as he is pinned beneath a fallen rafter. You actually have trouble lifting the rafter until you stick your hand through it and basically tug on your arm to lift it up. Roland, you have less luck. As you rush into a burning building, you're going to take 5 points of fire damage from smoke inhalation.
Well, no, what he would have done is had Shadow with him, and if he starts to have trouble breathing, Shadow would pull him into the Shadow realm.
Inspiration.
Clever.
This is very clever.
All right.
Do I
Doing
find
that
or help
method.
anybody?
You could probably get to a lot of people that way.
You are going to find you will be able to save a person who is actually asleep in their attic. When they are brought out, you see them kind of start as they are drugged into the shadow realm. And then they're like kicking and struggling, and then they're just going to kind of float there, unable to move off of Shadow, and you're just going to kind of drag them on Shadow's back, and then cast them out of the Shadow realm before corruption hits them. As they are dropped out, they're going to like scramble on the ground and like look around like this terrible nightmare has just woken up from. Then it begins to rain. A downpour of seismic proportions is going to pour down upon the fires, quickly extinguishing them.
Roland's gonna keep going house to house.
She lets it keep going, trying to make sure the coals are down as well.
You are able to make a fantastically quick sweep underneath the ground with Shadow. The storm clouds, there's shadows everywhere. So you're able to easily dive wherever, come out of walls that are smoldering. And the cold of the Shadow Realm will counter the smoldering of the fire. You and Shadow are going to quickly find 6 additional people and pull them to safety with heroic effort. Both of you guys gain a hero point.
I say you had the idea, but I was like, if
As soon as you mentioned buckets, I was like, "Yep, that's what's happening."
and say when we got there, especially if they had said that you.
Oh, I already have one.
If someone
So I
said
get
like
one.
Euphemia's in the
But-
building,
Yes.
like he would have been also going in to make sure you didn't
Aw.
get yourself
And
stuck somewhere.
Goofy! Inspiration!
Oh, thank you.
as you have pulled the old man from, I need my walking stick, he says, reaching back into the fire for it.
She'll snarl at him. Leave it.
He says, I can't walk without it. He's like falling everywhere.
Then I'll drag you.
All right, you roughly drag him from the building. I need a strength check. He's an old man, but he's still a human. That's a
That's a
D12.
D12.
Oh yeah, there's that thing. So that means I get to re-roll it. Yay. Okay.
Always steal his weight.
So yeah, it's just a flat 16.
Okay, yeah, you are able to body carry him out of the house, thanks to him being a frail old man. And
Take your left arm.
this is Gabriel from last time, who made the squeaky noise on the ground. Meanwhile, Hero was helping with the bucketing until the downpour stopped the fire. As you pull the man forth, he is going to like struggle to get up, but literally can't seem to walk.
Sorry. He'll stop in a second, I swear.
You digging over there?
Yeah, the dog's getting comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite
I love it.
Uh,
He's the best mascot. He really is.
So you drag them. Roland, you're still saving people at this point. Juniper, what are you up to? And Isaac.
When Isaac arrives, it's probably starting to rain. And I think him and the Revenant will just sit back and watch.
Juniper.
So cold.
June will walk forward and try to find whoever looks to be in charge.
Okay. It looks like the woman with the white hair is in charge. As you step towards her, she looks at you. Are you one of the ones, the halfling's friends?
She pauses a moment. She goes, "Yes."
You're a hero, she says. Thank you. You saved us.
June has a very odd expression across her face when she says that. But she just lets it slide.
She says, have you seen my husband?
I'm afraid I just got into town.
Where were you coming from?
The river.
They attempted to escape by the river, she asks.
Yes, it would seem.
And you stopped them.
Yes.
They
Do you
had
know
the barrels.
the explosive barrels? Yes.
She nods. Do you know where they got them?
One would assume here, but I don't know.
She looks at you. No, we don't carry such things in the town.
Did they carry them in via the river? How did they attack?
They came out of the woods, she says.
She looks confused for a moment and turns towards the woods.
They likely came from the river and surrounded the town and then attacked that way. They came in from all sides, led by a four-armed monstrosity.
Did they already have the barrels?
She says, I don't know. I wasn't there for the initial attack. I live near the center of town. My name is Clara, she says. What is your name?
Juniper.
She looks like she was expecting to know your name, but she doesn't seem to. Thank you, Juniper. Euphemia, you come dragging the man out of the house.
It's fairly inelegant looking.
Mortimer! She says, running towards him.
Mortimer, of course, his name is Mortimer.
As she runs up towards him, she looks down and she's going to almost lift Euphemia in this joyous hug.
Oh, she looks uncomfortable.
Thank you, she says. Where's your staff? We had to leave it behind. Here. She picks up a stick off the street and hands it to him. The stick is like so skinny, but as he puts it underneath him, he easily stands with it.
She says, "Is there anyone else? Anyone else needing rescuing?"
They both shake their head. A woman, a halfling woman with orangish hair, is going to come out from one of the side streets. And as she's walking past all of you, she's going to come forward. She says, "Mortimer, you're all right." And then as you ask your question, she says, "We're sure that there are some trapped. Thank the heavens for this rain," she says.
She looks up. "Are you near?"
I'm standing next. Well,
You were near the woman, right?
Well, yeah. But she ran away from me. But I'm probably maybe like 20 feet away from me.
You see a black vortex form in the street, and then a body is just onto the ground nearby.
June actually jumps and goes.
The person looks around and scrambles, and then the vortex is just gonna suddenly close behind them, and then they turn around and are staring at the ground.
June embarrassedly clears her throat and brushes her cloak.
What a nightmare! The man says. What? Mortimer is going to say, "It's all right, Cannon. It's all right. What was that?" he says.
June's eyes narrow and she goes,
Johnny is going to step out from the bucket line now, soaking wet. She goes, "It was Roland Tarkan," she says with great pride in her voice. Roland Tarkan! The man holds his heart as though he might have a heart attack. The halfling woman is going to take a step back. "Roland Tarkan is here?" Clara is going to turn towards you and say, "You didn't say that Roland Tarkan was one of your friends."
She's going to visibly roll her eyes. Yes, he's very famous and powerful.
As you put your hand up like that, she's going to shake your hand. It's such an honor, ma'am. Johnny goes, yes, he's a very good friend of ours.
She shoots her a look like, "You're not helping."
I am the village elder, he says. Mortimer, that's my name. I would have you all here so that I can explain what has occurred.
June is going to actually walk away and towards him. You said you're standing back watching him, correct?
Mm-hmm.
She comes to you and says, "Perhaps you could help me take care of some of these people who are injured?"
Of course. Have they gathered them in one spot?
No, but we can probably organize that.
Oh, who is that wraith-like figure? He gives a chill to my bones, the halfling says with orange hair.
Where is that orange-haired halfling?
Adjacent to you, about 25 feet away from the two deathly cloaked figures standing in the corner. One of them smoking.
Smoking.
Disaster happens and you just see two Grim Reapers walking through the I supplies cigarettes to I keep on. I did say he's well disguised.
The cheapest
so
cigarettes are.
yeah.
She's just going to say, "Yes, he's very alarming, isn't he?"
I make sure the Revenant knows to only pick up people who are unconscious.
Or dead, maybe?
Or dead.
If that's the case, then he has two dead people on his arms.
Okay.
So underneath both of them are these hanging, what look to be deceased individuals.
So a Grim Reaper holding a dead body.
Great. Smoking a cigarette.
At the junction of cloak and glove, you can see a double-boned wrist. Just the skeleton.
You will note that June's eyes do see it, and just continues on.
Okay. I hope you take care of the wounded.
Alright, give me medicine or spells.
Medicine for me.
Okay.
Not very good, but 9.
9? Okay.
I'll use my inspiration on this.
Inspiration, okay.
Actually, I'm going to use one of my wish points to reroll that.
Okay, sure.
23.
23.
Wow.
Well, mother of monkeys. Never mind.
Can you use it to re-roll it with advantage?
You keep finding dead
Yeah,
bodies
that's
is the
what I
problem.
Yeah.
Oh no.
There's a strewn line of dead bodies and war-torn village streets as you head down. As you are vaguely followed by curious villagers. By the way, your efforts of heroism and medicine have reduced your chaos level by 1.
Yay!
So you go
two?
from 3 down to 2.
How long has it been?
It has been about 10 minutes at this point.
Yeah, that's still boring.
You're going to find the orange-haired halfling is following Juniper. And Juniper, you're going to come upon a body of the only one you've seen so far that has a weapon. A man. He's large and impressive. He would be very handsome were he alive, but he has large tongs that have been stabbed into him many times, like 6 or 8. And they are the size of the Baron's trident. The moment that he is seen, the halfling with orange hair is going to scream.
She will turn quickly, looking around for what the hell is going to attack us.
She immediately turns and runs back towards the middle where all the villagers are gathered.
Continue to go look at the person who, after assessing that nothing's attacking us.
Give me a disadvantaged history check. This is a very difficult roll.
Can I try?
You're not with her.
Okay.
15.
Unfortunately, it's not high enough. You don't know who this man is.
Okay.
You continue to try to help. Isaac, you've managed to do some good. You find a woman staggering out. She says she's been stabbed. And you see that there's a wound that goes right through her arm. And you're going to bandage her. Those of you back in the center, Roland, you have saved everyone available in the town who is being helped.
Did that dude with the weapon manage to actually take out any merfolk?
You see the blood of merfolk on his blade.
Do I see any merfolk bodies in town? Specifically the gray ones.
Yes, you see 3 full merfolk around him and like half a dozen gray ones.
I want to look at the gray ones.
As you look at them, you see a horrible wound on each of them. It does not look like it was made by a sword at all. It looks like something burrowed out from their heads. It looks like some kind of worm about this big burrowed up either out of their eye or out of their cranial passages.
She will get out her eye lens and I want to detect magic. Or yeah, detect magic.
You gain advantage on an Arcana check here because of your detect magic spell, but it does not reveal magic.
Okay. Hopefully it's better. No.
You do see the
Today is the day of
sword
no.
is mildly magic. You detect.
It's specifically, in case you actually care what it was. 12.
Your detect magic spell will reveal to you small trails, like a worm trail, that crawls across their bodies and away from the corpses of the Grey Merfolk. But they can't be seen by the naked eye.
Okay.
Where did they go?
No.
Give me a very difficult history check, but not with disadvantage.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay.
And,
You gain advantage.
sorry, the table ate my pencil.
Okay.
Much better.
DC 23.
I succeed.
As you see the trails you are able to connect in your mind a rumor that you have heard many years ago that the Empress of the Merfolk made a deal with creatures of darkness. Mm-hmm. It looks like they may have been infested by basically spawn of darkness.
So maybe like not a darkling.
They are not darklings because the Merfolk was still alive.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's terrifying.
These are only rumors, but enough that you have heard them.
Do I think that the bit of darkness could have escaped to hurt anyone? Or?
Only because of the cloud cover. If it was sunny, they would have died. They probably broke out recently.
Well, because I did that. Well, fudge.
But darkness this small could only hurt somebody who is enfeebled. Like somebody who is basically
like
out conscious. Like
Who
one of the
are-
wounded.
So we need to check the wounded and make sure none of them are infested.
Well, there would be fairly obvious signs. If they were, they would look like they're dying.
That
Like
being
Isaac.
said, I'm still gonna go check.
Sure, yeah.
Did you see like Isaac?
Yes.
Was that a roast?
So, cancel the spell, or cancel the robes, so it stops raining. She just does this, and the clouds just in the sky and on her robe, they just go, and now it's sunny.
Okay, it takes maybe a minute for the clouds to roll out, but it is fast.
I mean, it's an obviously not natural thing.
Is there insane rainbows going on afterwards?
No.
Even though it was raining so hard and then...
Well, I suppose, for a moment.
Yeah.
For a moment,
I
it's
imagine
like...
there'd be like a
So it's rainbow
crazy-
insanity for just
Yeah.
a brief second.
Yeah.
For once, the game did not attempt to be flashy.
Yeah.
That is a good video game title.
Rainbow
As soon
insanity.
as it stops showing on her cloak, it immediately returns to looking like a normal traveler's robe.
There is some normalcy now returning to the village, as much as there can be. People are returning to their homes, seeing what has been broken. It looks like merfolk were searching for something by the witnessing of their tracks. Oh no, Mortimer says. He is adjacent to you, Venom only, and Jenna. He goes, he begins to kind of rush as quickly as he can towards the center of the village.
What is it? She'll call after him as she follows.
He doesn't speak. Instead, he allows you to follow him towards what looks to be a gathering place, a sort of larger building. As he enters, you see that it has sort of an open atrium where there's a bunch of benches. It looks like a place where somebody would talk. There's a podium, looks like a town hall. And as he heads towards the back, he looks down the floor and you can see the clear outline of wet merfolk feet, leaving mud tracks. Oh, by the heavens, he says, as he heads to the back, there's a secret wall that has been broken by somebody ramming it. And you see whatever was in there is no longer in there. They found it. How did they know? He puts his head into his hand.
Her face will harden slightly with suspicion. What did they find that you were keeping here?
Barrels of black powder on its way to Aragoth, he says.
She flinches
Glad
just a
I'm not
little
there.
bit.
He looks devastated. They were a ticket to a more modern town. And now they're gone, he says.
And would Aragoth have been the ones giving you the boon to afford a more modern town?
He looks at you. He looks for a moment angry, but his grief overcomes it. And he seems to just kind of lament. He goes, they were destined to Aragoth, yes, but they were sent by Selenox, not us. We were merely a stopping point, he says. We were paid to keep them safe. They were hidden the moment they came off dock, he says. No one in town knew, except me, he says.
Well, she says, it seemed you've brought devastation on your town then.
At your words, he's going to break down. He's going to fall heavily on a bench nearby, and he begins to just bitterly sob. It is an hour and a half later. You are in the mayor's house. All of you have been invited as guests of honor.
Just checking. She looked at all the wounded that we found.
You found no wounded that were infected.
Okay.
It looks like the creatures probably went to the water and left.
Or underground.
Or died. They actually can't survive very long outside the host.
Could they take over animals?
They could, but the animal would have to be trapped, unable to move.
Okay.
Like, they're as helpless as a worm, basically. They have to be able to crawl and move.
Oh.
Can they inhabit dead things?
Yes, they would become darklings, most likely.
So, there's a whole host of those.
Yeah, it's possible that they have taken on corpses.
June... Oh, yeah, she wants them to burn the corpses.
Whew.
Okay. You are describing the need to burn the corpses now. Mortimer was devastated by your words, and Clara, his wife, is the one meeting with you all instead. Normally, Mortimer meets with villagers, or heroes, important dignitaries, she says. He explained to me what happened. I can't believe he hid it from me. I'm so sorry, she says, that you had to fight on our behalf. We are so grateful to you. She says, we don't have much money. We had a deposit on the powder that we will not get back.
She knew about powder?
He just explained it to her.
Oh.
I'm afraid that the villagers are very angry at him. He may lose his stature as elder now.
Perhaps he should, she says, no sympathy on her face.
Perhaps he should, she admits.
I've already brought up the burning of the corpses.
But as far as corpses go, it is not our usual method, but if there is danger involved in them, then we shall do as you say. I only must ask, who are you all? Of course, I know who you and your mighty steed are, Roland, she says, with a bit of a twinkle in her eye. And we thank you so much for coming to our aid. She looks at the rest of you.
Are the rest of us there?
Yes.
Okay.
I might be a hero. I helped him.
Did she even notice poor hero? Out of curiosity.
She did because he has a teacup.
Okay.
Just a humble traveling cleric, Isaac says, bowing, and assistant to the famous Roland.
She raises an eyebrow at that.
Yeah, we're on a trip to the center of the continent right now.
Oh dear, she says. And we are merely lucky that you dropped by when you did. Your timing could not have been better, she says.
Have y'all ever seen merfolk here before?
Once before, when my grandmother lived. But they were not the same merfolk, I know that.
What were they doing here then?
Raiding. They sought our food goods, she says. But they were driven out long ago.
Merfolk rarely make it this far.
Indeed.
We certainly didn't expect them. The worst we ever get are orcs, she says. Sometimes a great creature, but the thrice paths take care of them, she says. The body you found, he is our protector. His name is Alkin Finn. town, I'm afraid, is devastated by his loss.
I wouldn't have known who he was, would I?
It is possible. Give me a history check. Yeah, give me a history check.
+0. +0, so thanks. 7.
Yeah, you've like heard the name at some point, but you don't know anything about
So we never like fought together or anything like that.
it. Actually, no, I like roll with advantage.
May I roll now?
Huh?
May I roll now?
Yes, you may.
Oh, even worse second time.
Do I get regular roll or advantage?
You gain a regular roll.
The history?
Yes.
It's actually the exact same.
Wanna try?
You may roll with disadvantage. You've not lived in this part of the world.
Could Yuffie have possibly heard of this guy?
No.
Sorry.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
I think so.
Didn't mean to stop.
Not trying.
What'd you roll?
Low.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, none of you have heard of them. She goes, he was born up in Highwood, she says, but he moved here when he was a young boy. We did honestly not think that it was possible for him to lose. His fate is almost as potent as yours.
What was it?
Oh, the wording, she says. It's so difficult with so many. She goes, yes. She remembers. She is going to... He shall be blessed by luck, never to be struck. A man of heroic deed, never in need, she says. Your knowledge of fate provides that is very strong. And for him to be taken down by a raid?
I'm assuming that the fate snafu. I don't know.
Either way, he was struck.
Perhaps one of the merfolk were fated. Is that possible?
If so, then you would have seen the ramifications of it. Did you see any sort of physical manifestation of two fated? Two ascended?
No. But nobody saw him fight. It was down an area that the merfolk rampaged through.
More likely than not, the effect would be pretty widespread.
And
To be able to cancel out a fate of that power, she's right. It's a very strong fate.
It is obvious when it happens, she says. I took down one Baron. I saw no effect. Who took down the other one?
He was certainly normal enough. I killed him. So
She
we could
looks
probably...
completely stumped. She throws up her hands. I know no fortune teller, she says. I know nothing of fate. Except mine, the town, somewhat.
While they're speaking, can I take a closer look at his body and do a kind of like battlefield autopsy?
Ugh.
Yeah, you go to leave and head to where his body is being kept. He is being mourned over by the entire town. He appears to be a very popular figure.
Isaac pauses and does not do this.
Just start slicing and dicing the cracker.
You all drink your tea politely, and then she finally breaks with what she actually wants to say. We are, again, so grateful to you. But without Ogden Finn, we are left defenseless. The merfolk could come back under the assumption we still have more to offer if they know you are gone.
Do you
We
have
need
an...
a hero? Hero says.
What did he say? I'm sorry.
You need a hero.
We can send to Garen. Perhaps they can send someone. But we are, in fact, on a quest.
It took us 7 days to get here with a good boat, Hero says. There's no way that someone's going to get here in time if somebody attacks them.
Unfortunately, I think that is a chance that will have to be taken.
You are unable to stay, one of you, she says.
All of us are required for the quest we are already on. As you can see, we have powerful members, so our quest is of dire need.
And my crew is needed on my ship. I can't spare one of them.
Of course, she says.
However, we will send. Perhaps there is one closer than Karen itself.
Yes, closer, she says.
I cannot guarantee it.
There are. I know of them, she says. There are 2 heroes not too far from here.
Who?
There is one. He is an older hero. He lives up in Brightstock, only 2 days' travel from here, by walking, she says. Brightstock, his name is Eric Grant. Those of you who know the hero game know Eric Grant, the Stone Wolf. He is the foremost druid in the world, or was about 15 years ago. He is not as old as Harper is, but he has fallen much harder. You heard last that his wife died, and he gave up the game. He might be difficult to convince, but perhaps the direness of our circumstances might bring him home. He once lived here, many years ago. The other is called the Stone Guard, she says. He is a great creature, construct. He is made out of the lightning thrice-struck ironwood, brought to life by fate, she says. Juniper, you alone know this story, and you know it well.
She nods and
You know that
perks up slightly for a second, and then she shakes her head.
by tale, the fated creature was brought to life for one purpose and one purpose only: to destroy Uthgail the Venomous, known as the Frog King.
Guile, the venomous?
Yes. A massive dragon-eating toad. Of such size that it was said he could swallow buildings whole. And because the Stone Guard was immune... it's a Wood Guard. It's made out of wood. The Wood Guard is made out of ironwood. He is immune to poison. So he was able to apparently defeat Uthgail. He is in the southern woods, 2 days south, the Blue Wood, she says, a fated land where water acts as ground and ground as water, she says. She goes, he is there on some manner of guard post.
Again, could you not send runners of your own?
I was hoping that if you went to Eric Grant, a hero of your stature might convince him to return, but he has a grudge against the townspeople, and the Wood Guard is, well, difficult to speak to.
Is it on our way or out of the way?
She does describe that it is 2 days north or south, and you're going east.
She shakes her head again.
What about the messenger?
A messenger solely delivers messages. They will not aid.
At least we could get a message.
We could send to them, yes. But that does not guarantee whether or not they will come. I do suggest we ask.
Wait, we can't leave these people defenseless.
We don't have a choice, hero.
We do. They just gave us 2.
We don't have 2 days to spare.
4 days, really.
We don't know how much time we have.
Precisely.
There's a whole village on the line.
And our quest is dire.
He
I'm
looks
afraid,
around for aid.
as much as I wish to help these people right away, we cannot put the need of these few over the need of many, many more. June has always... What?
I get it, man.
June has always been very floaty. She's suddenly, deathly serious right now. She's not putting on her airs. She's just very, very serious.
What do
It's
the
almost
others of you
cold.
look like? Roland, what did you just say?
I get it, man.
You get it?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
to
heroes upset, man. So
Got it.
I get it, man.
How many are in the town? She asks.
500.
500 left?
Wow.
I can't carry anything like that.
Do you not have a militia?
We have never needed one. We have rangers, but only 2.
If the message is from me, Eric might come.
Then by all means, please write it.
Can you leave anything? She asks Isaac.
No.
Can or won't?
Roland's gonna write it.
Won't. There's a limit to what I can control, and I can't dedicate that much of my mind to a guard to stand here until the end of days. It's not worth my time.
In addition, it would decrease his own effectiveness for our mission.
Indeed. Our mission.
Alright. So are you gonna stay to write a note?
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna write it in the elder's house, or do you go elsewhere?
Might as well write it in the house.
She will take off her beetle box, enlarge it, and hand you paper. Meanwhile, she ends up writing another missive out to Niran.
Internally, Isaac is shocked by how cold and calculating these heroes are. This is not what he was expecting. In the face of a plight of innocent.
You're going to see suddenly a young village girl run in. Clara is going to pick her up. She holds her to her shoulder. It's all right, dear. It's all right. We'll be fine, she says.
You'll see Euphemia grip the side of the table, white-knuckled.
You're going to see a halfling, not the orange-haired one, but another one with mousy brown hair come around the corner. She goes, Clara, can we speak? She says. Of course. This is Dory, she says.
The orange-haired one?
This is a brown, mousy-haired halfling. She goes around the corner to speak with Dory as you begin to write. About 3 or 4 minutes later, Dory is going to sort of burst into the chamber. Clara is racing after her. She goes, no! Dory is going to break out a checkbook and go, how much do you need?
I beg your pardon?
I'm very wealthy. How much do we need to pay you in order for you to save us? She says.
If it were a matter of money, this would not be a problem, I'm afraid.
I'm very wealthy, ma'am. I'm telling you. I have enough, she says.
I am very sorry, but...
Is there no spell you can cast? Nothing.
You are merely going to leave us to death, then? She says.
We will be sending to the heroes that are nearest here in hopes that perhaps they will come. I will also be writing to Garen.
To Eric? The drunk? She says. He is more in a cup than he cares.
And then hopefully the stone...
Woodguard.
Woodguard.
She says, I don't even know if he knows how to read.
She actually pauses and she goes, that's actually a good plot. Do I know that?
The Woodguard?
Yes.
I'll roll to see if you've ever met him. Nope. Haven't ever met him.
Can I roll to see if it's a known thing?
It is not a known fact.
Cleric,
Yes?
do you have sending?
I don't know the spell.
Not personally.
But
You've heard of him. He's
Harper's.
an old friend of Harper's.
Yeah, that's how it would be writing to him.
I need you to give me disadvantaged.
He's a cleric!
Sir.
Job, man!
Okay.
Memorize it tonight.
Because I do have something in mind that I would have written also.
Honestly, it doesn't matter how good it is.
Okay.
He has subsequent reasons for not wanting to do this.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say regardless.
So what do you write?
Roland is going to write it and assume we're just going to leave and hope he comes.
I'm going to
Or
make
Garen.
an attempt at writing the letter anyway to the Woodguard, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also send it to Garen. Damn!
Jesus Christ.
In case you're wondering, that was a 20 and an 18 that he rolled.
What is that persuasion-wise?
This is a 20 and an 18.
It's 23.
Okay.
Was it disadvantage? Yeah.
Do you call POSIX in the home?
Probably.
All right.
She will get out the coin.
You hear a lightning strike. The two women are going to, like, push forward a little bit with the wind of his movement, and you're going to see his footsteps burned into the floor. He will appear, and he kind of, like, shakes himself out when he arrives. He looks up. No.
Wait, he's giving us a note?
He's waiting for it.
We have 3. She folds them quickly and she goes, these 2 are the nearer ones. This one is to Garen.
Where? Who?
She's gonna list it off.
All right. He says, should I return?
If they have answers, yes.
Should I return immediately to show you my success?
We trust you.
The correct assumption. He's gone.
I'll tell you what I wrote.
Give it to me.
Oh, God.
You wrote it. Eric Grant. I know you're going through hard times. I know you have no reason to do this. But Harper went through a really hard time too. And I know finding purpose was important. This town really needs you. We've written Garen to hopefully send for somebody permanent. But if you please help them out in the time being, and maybe you'll find some purpose again. And signed, Roland Turkin.
The third note went to the woodguard, right?
Woodguard, Garen,
So
and Stonewall.
All right, and we will go ahead and stop there and return back with the answers of what sort of letters they received back. And so, good heroes, please like and subscribe if you've liked what you've seen here. And remember, do trust it out.